Hey everybody, this is Jeffrey Jansen. Oh man, there's already a mosquito on me. So, today I put up a series of quotes. And on those quotes, sorry about that, the end of He-Man and stuff just popped in my head, and G.I. Joe's where they actually kind of explained the episode. Anyway, what I'm getting at is the reason for my post today about the kindness and to walk away. And a friend of mine just clarified, kind of without realizing what I was trying to get at. We need to do things in life that we do and want nothing in return for. So when we're being kind to people, when we do something to step outside of our comfort zone, when we're trying to be a better person every single day, we should not want that instant gratification, that instant thank you from them. What it is we're doing it and then walking away, knowing what we did, and we did it for the right reason, want nothing more than to do it because we can, okay? Not everybody's going to appreciate what you do for them. Not everybody is going to reciprocate the things that are going on in your life. But what they can do is you'll know that within inside of you, you showed kindness, you showed empathy, you showed consideration, you showed respect when you didn't have to. And you did something and never asked for anything in return. Now that is the true form of kindness. Doing for others and never asking anything for yourself. So when you go out there and you shake somebody's hand, when you go out there and you help somebody cross the street, when you go out there and you see that somebody's yard needs to be cut, you don't ask anything in return. You do it. You don't ask anything from it. Now, the people that do that kind of stuff and then they want some kind of reciprocation, what happens with that is now you're doing something at a cost. That means it was never done for free. That means you didn't do it for free. And sometimes people want money. Sometimes people want you to show gratitude and thanks. Okay? But the fact is that's not what it's about. It's not about that at all. It's about showing kindness where there is none. It's about doing things that nobody else is willing to do. It's about going out and doing the right thing for the right reason, and nobody will ever know you did it. Why? Because if we all did a little bit of that, our communities would be a lot kinder. We'd feel a lot safer because we know that even though we don't know who just saved our life, at least we know that they were there. And after a while of being kind to people, not wanting anything in return, you'll feel an abundance of joy inside yourself. Why? Because you did it. You want nothing in return except to make yourself feel good. And that's what the world needs today. Everybody, they want something in return. They want you to show them respect. They do something for you, they're going to stand there like a guy looking for a tip. But the thing about it is, when we show kindness, when we show respect, okay, the whole idea of it is this. You go out, you do it, and you ask nothing in return. You don't want their thanks. You don't want their gratitude. You just want to make sure you did it because you did it. That's it. No more, no less. No one's going to say nothing. No one needs to know anything. It's kind of like the unsung heroes in our lives, our parents and our grandparents and other people. They do things for us and they don't ask anything in return. Why do they do it? Because it's the right thing to do. Anymore, people think, it's not even about money anymore. Sometimes people, they're searching for compliments. They're searching for respect. They think because they did something, now you owe them. No. People think because they did you a favor, now that you owe them. But that's not what it's about. What it's about is being kind, being gentle. You don't ever want anything in return. Now what's going to happen is later on in life, things are going to come back to you. Things are going to be put in your heart. Things are going to be done. And that same way, no one's going to say anything. They're just going to happen. Why? Because you weren't wanting it. You weren't expecting it. You weren't needing it. But it's going to happen. And we focus so much on what do we get in return every time we do something, and what kind of thanks do I get, or what kind of respect I get, that we forget to do things for the right reason, just to do them for the right reason. We're looking for somebody to compliment us. We're looking for somebody to say thank you. We're looking for somebody to show appreciation for what we did. And if we don't get it, we get on there and we go negative, which shows that we needed something. The people that can do it and not want anything in return and still be happy, that's where we have to go with ourselves. That's where we have to set our goals for. We have to get rid of the negative people in our lives. I'm going over the stuff I put on today. We have to get rid of the negative people in our lives. Why? Because they're wanting something. They're wanting us to be on our hands and knees while they whip us so that they get that instant gratification from abuse or from neglect or from whatever it is. We need to get rid of negative people in our lives and get rid of negative comments in our lives. We have to quit expecting stuff when we do something kind for somebody. We have to, never once expect anything in return. When you do something, you have to do it because you wanted to, because you felt a need to, and never even ask for a thank you. Why? Because we're getting so hell-bent on we need something from somebody, whether it be money or compliments or stuff or favors, that we put a price. And we're putting a price on kindness. And kindness should never have a price. Kindness should just be done. And when we put a price on kindness, it's no longer kindness. It now becomes something we trade, something that we bargain with, something I'm not going to be kind to you because I didn't get... No. We need to start teaching ourselves to say please and thank you again and not expecting anything in return. We need to reach our hand down and pull somebody up. And once they're up on their feet, we walk away and want nothing in return for them. They may be ungrateful. Let them. They may not be happy. Let them. They may be like, I don't need your help. That's fine. Let them think that. But you know what you did was right. You know what you teach your kids and what you teach the people around you is do the right thing for the right reason and ask nothing in return. And when that comes about, your life gets fulfilled with stuff that you would never even dream about. But if you live on this barter system, if you live on this, I need to have something for everything I do, and I want all this other stuff, then you're doing something. It's not out of kindness. It's not out of love. It's not coming from your heart. It's coming because now someone's going to be in debt to you. Now somebody's going to owe you. Now somebody, even for the simplest words, people want to thank you or they want something out of it. The whole idea is to do it and walk away. Do it and be grateful. If you can do that, then the people that are negative in your life, you can walk away from them even easier. Why? Because you don't need to be around that kind of hate. You don't need to be around that kind of nonsense that people, they're sitting there pulling you down with them because they don't have anybody else to pull them down. I watch every day about all the negativity, and people choose to take the lower road. They don't choose the high road. The high road is hard. Why would anybody want to take it? Instead, they want to complain about their baby mama, the baby daddy. They want to tell everybody what's going on. They want to put hate in somebody's heart. They want to show dissatisfaction with somebody that treated them bad, so now the entire world has. But once again, they're asking something in return. They're putting up negativity so that you show them that you're on their side. It shouldn't be that way. I mean, if you start looking at drama and you start getting deeper and deeper into what's being written and what's being said, after a while you're going to look at it like, that's not how I feel. Give you an example. I was over at the KC barbecue the other day. I ran into a good friend of mine. Do I know that he's got a past? Does he remarry and everything like that? Yes. Do I have a friend that doesn't like him? Yeah. But you want to know something? When they started going negative about my other friends, I basically said, you know what, you're a great person, everything else, and it right away brought them up like, I'm not going to say nothing bad. Even though they wanted to really bad, but then when I showed kindness and respect, they no longer wanted to talk bad about my other friends. Why? Because I did not let them, give them that opportunity to participate in the drama, the gossip. Instead, I used compliments. Instead, I used, hey, you're doing great. Keep it up. Hey, we all have those hard times in our life, but you know what? You're getting through it right now, and I understand that not everybody gets along, but someday they will. But the first thing, it's got to start with you. When do we stop complaining? When do we stop wanting vengeance on people? When do we stop the hate? And when do we stop asking for things in return for who we are and for our kindness? I'm sorry, but if I'm going to be kind to somebody, I want nothing in return. Because that's the ultimate kindness. The ultimate kindness is doing something, walking away, and never asking anything else. I want to make a difference in at least one person's life before I die. But I'm never going to know who that person is. Why? Because I choose to be kind to everybody. I don't want to know who's... But when I go up I stay at the pearly gates, and St. Peter asks me, hey, Jeff, this is... And he goes, well, you know what? You did all this, and you asked nothing in return. I'm like, okay. But then I look down, and I see there's people out there being kind. You know what? That makes my heart happy. That makes me happy. I've lived in the negative world. I've lived with the drama. I've lived with the deceit. I live with the deception. I live with the lying, the cheating, the stealing, the drugs, the alcohol. I live with the workers, what is it? Where did it get any of us? It gave us a headache. It gave us not being able to trust our friends. My friends know when I get around them, I'm not going to talk bad about them. I don't talk bad about the people I disagree with. I've already forgiven my enemies. I've forgiven the people that think of me as their enemy. I've forgiven people that hurt me. Why? And I mean it. Why? Because I don't want to live that life. I don't want to live the life where I have to go around watching my back every second and having to worry about what somebody says, thinks, or does behind my back. And I know I don't have to worry about that as long as I always keep pushing forward. I'm nice to the person that's right in front of me. I'm nice to the people that are away from me, and I just keep going. I just keep walking on. If somebody doesn't like what I have to say, they don't have to listen. If somebody doesn't like my attitude or they like what I have to say, that's fine. That's their choice. I don't mind. But if there's somebody that I can make a difference in their life, somebody that I can see that's having a hard time, what makes it worse is when you help somebody and then they want something in return, now you feel like you're in their debt. And they're not happy yet. But if you help them out and you just walk away, and you say, it's because you're my friend. It's because I care about you. It's because I respect you. And you walk away and you ask nothing in return. Then all of a sudden they're happy. They don't feel like they're in debt to anybody. They don't feel like they're being held down by a stone or a foot on their chest. Instead, they actually are happy with life. And you want to know something? What's going to happen is they may just do the exact same thing you did for them. They're going to go out and they're going to be nice to somebody. Even if you don't want that, it doesn't matter. Don't ask for payment in any way, shape, or form. Payment can be in form of compliments. Payment can be, if you say thank you, or you want their respect, or they owe you a favor. No. Do it because the world, it's a pretty good place. And we have to start somewhere by making it a great place. I've learned through family and friends that kindness is the biggest thing overall. I learned kindness from my grandparents and from my family. My grandma Jansen and my grandma Kuhn never asked anything from anybody. But you want to know something? They did things. And I'm going to give you an example. There was a guy that burnt down my grandma's barn years ago. Every one of my dad's brothers and sisters, they wanted to know right away who that was and everything else. Grandma refused to tell them. She did go to the jail to talk with him. To this day, nobody knows who it is. And she forgave him. She would not live with not forgiving him. And she asked nothing in return. And by doing that, she also never told anybody else. Now, people can speculate who it was. But I saw my grandma do that, and I saw strength that I've never seen before in somebody. I've seen somebody that saw the flood of 93 come and wipe out their livelihood. And when it wiped out their livelihood, then somebody came and burnt down houses and barns. And you can only imagine the money, the anger that somebody would have in front of them. You needed somebody to blame. But my grandma didn't. She went and forgave the person that did it, knowing that kindness would never be able to explain. That person probably to this day is still like, I have no clue what just happened. I did all this after a bad, natural disaster, and the person still forgave me. If my grandma can do that to somebody that did that to her, I sure as heck can forgive somebody that butts in front of me in line, or somebody that got a job promotion before I did, or somebody that maybe have it, because we don't know what somebody's going through. And every day I watch people And if you look at the news and everything else, all these negative, and you kind of look at like, you know what? Show me puppies. Show me kittens. I just don't want to see when we're at one of the best times in world history right now, throughout all the world history right now, we're living in one of the greatest moments. Now, people can't see it because they're only looking right in front of them. They're not looking at the overall outcome. They're not seeing that actual gun violence is down in world history. They're not seeing that, AIDS and all these different diseases and everything are cut in half right now. They're not seeing that our inventions are making people's lives easier. They're not seeing that people in some ways are actually communicating even better. I mean, whether it be with cell phones or whatnot, I'm sure there's another story for that another day. But what we need to start doing for each other is showing kindness, show empathy, show forgiveness, and never ask anything in return for it. How on earth can we ask for a thank you in return for something we did if we're doing it out of kindness? And I know people, they get mad when someone doesn't tell them thank you, or they say, oh, that person's so ungrateful. Let them. You know what you did. And that's what matters. Why is it so hard for you to be strong? Why is it so hard for you to understand that you are kind? Not everybody's going to say thank you. Not everybody's going to show appreciation. Not everybody is going to think they owe you anything. Not everybody is going to appreciate what you did. But you know it. Whether you're religious or not, or whether or not you follow, that's what's important. Now, for my second thing, and then I'm going to be finished up for today, okay? The other thing I've been putting on there lately, and I thought it was one of the great illustrations, it showed Michael Phelps in the pool, swimming. And next to him was another swimmer. And as you watch, Michael Phelps is set on the finish line. He is set on his goal, dead set. Everybody else is looking at Michael Phelps. Now, what does this mean? That means if you want to go after a goal, stop looking at everybody else to do it for you. Stop looking at coming in second. The second you take your eyes off of what you're trying to do is the second you're going to come in second, then third, then fourth. You want to come in first, keep your eye on the goal. Keep your eyes forward because your goals are set. But if you're looking at the person next to you, I used to run the 100 meter and then also the 100 meter hurdles and the 4x1, 4x2. It was funny. Every time I took second, it was because I turned my head to the left or right to see where the other runner was. Every time that we finished in first place is when I was just focused on the finish line. Because right away, I just ruined my rhythm for where I needed to be. And that's like that in life. Quit worrying about the guy next to you. Quit worrying about the other people that are getting the raises, the jobs, or the promotions. Put your eyes on it. Set it if you don't get it. Improve. Brush yourself off. Get up and go again. That's what we learned in the Marine Corps. Don't worry about who's on the left of you, who's on the right of you. Don't worry about what he or she is saying. Worry about the goal. Worry about the mission. Put it in front of you and sprint towards it. Every once in a while, you have to adapt how you do things in order for other people to understand. But overall, be kind, be courteous. Set your eyes forward. Don't worry about what everybody else says, thinks, does, or feels. Worry about what you're doing. Worry about yourself. You want to know something? There's a higher power out there that's watching over you. What you need to do is worry about what your role in life is. Worry about what your next mission is. Worry about, what's next for you. Don't worry about the people to your left or right because they don't have the same intentions you do. They don't have the same goals that you have. They do not care whether you sink or swim. All they care is where they're looking. If they're looking at you, that means you are in lead. If they're not looking at you, that means you need to start looking in front of them. Not behind them, not at them. Look in front of them. And get somewhere in life. Be kind, be courteous, show respect. Yeah, sure, people say, hate gets people. You know what? It also gets people thrown in jail. You know where hate gets people? Lonely. The richest people in the world are some of the loneliest. They don't think anybody cares about them. Some of the wealthiest people in the world are poor, and they got all kinds of friends and family and people that love them and care about them. One thing about my family I used to love is every time we go somewhere, everybody would make a dish. Okay, they'd make a different casserole. They'd make a dessert. My mom was a great cook. She was a great chef. My aunt was Aunt Jan was making brown bread the other day. I saw on Facebook with her grandchildren. It made me think of my mom making brown bread and my grandma making brown bread. But you know, what did that mean? They weren't trying to compete. Wait a minute, it's my family. They may have been trying to compete with each other. But you want to know something? They didn't care. All they cared is they got to spend time with each other. All they cared was they got to say hello to each other. They didn't care the distance it took to drive to see each other. They didn't care about anything other than the kindness that they showed towards each other and other people. When we went to church, you know, I was always taught, don't ask anything in return. Be kind and walk away. And when you are kind and you walk away, believe it or not, you are now standing on the backs of giants. And last, and to finish up, we all, at some point in time, have stood on the backs of giants, on the shoulders of giants. Do you know why we do that? Because one day we will become that giant, and someone's going to have to stand on our shoulders. The question is, will we let them? Doesn't matter who they are. If they can see farther than you, then you're doing the mission correctly. I stood on the shoulders of my father, of the people before me, and I love each and every one of them for it. And all they asked in return was that I could see farther. All they wanted was to know that I was safe. All they cared about was me succeeding on my own terms. They provided the shoulders. They provided the lookout. They were awake when I was sleeping. They ate last when I ate first. They taught me how to lead. They taught me they would go in first so that everybody was safe. And then I followed behind. Marines were the same way. Leaders lead from the front, not from the back. Managers might whip you. A leader will actually help pull you. And when you get to it, the leader will be the last one to eat and the first one out of the chow hall. A leader will be the first one to read over and over and over again until they know for sure that what they're doing is safe for their team. A leader sleeps less, works more. A leader is kind, learns compassion, learns his strengths from those around him, does not belittle, does not humiliate. That's what a leader does. Anyway, thank you for giving me your time today, everybody. I appreciate each and every one of you. I think you are all great. I think you are awesome. I just want you to know that each and every one of you is important, and that at no time will I ever put anything negative on my Facebook page. So if anybody sees anything or something weird coming from me, make sure to let me know. I just want you to know that each and every one of you is important. Each and every one of you matter. Go out there and be kind. Yes, Steve, I saw you. Jason, I saw you. Mary, I saw you. Larry, I saw you. Who else did I say? April, how you doing? Tierra, hi. Gina, hi. Doug, hi. Jason, of course. Kate, hi. Sherry, hi. Tina, hi. Dustin, hi. Tony, hi. And know this, you all are outstanding. Thank you all for being my friend. Thank you all for giving me your time. The most important thing we have in life is our time. Take it easy, everybody. Talk to you soon.